Hey, and welcome to another Geek Out commentary. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I don't know why I had to think about that. So
I mean, to be fair, your name does change from week to week.
it does. I live through the ages like the Joker, like adopting a different name as I go.
Spoilers.
We're done with the Marvel movies, and now we're entering Chris's birthday month, so
Yeah.
we're gonna do Chris's favorite film. Chris, what is your favorite film?
That would happen to be Back to the Future, and specifically the Back to the Future trilogy is probably by far my favorite trilogy known to man.
Known to man.
Known to
in
man.
the year of our Lord.
So
Year of our Lord, 1985.
Marty McFly went
Martin McFly.
Yeah.
went 30 odd years.
To the past.
Yeah.
And so this is
30 moons ago.
This is your favorite?
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. It holds a special place in my heart. It came out the same year I was born. So about 30 years ago. And I don't know, it just every time I've watched it, it just
A little something new?
Yeah, it's very, very layered, and hopefully I'll be able to remember to point out some of the more interesting pieces, especially like a lot of stuff that like I just like sat through it as a kid, excited, and then like around the time that the Blu-rays came out, rewatching it and being like, damn, like this movie's deep too. Like watch Marty's performances, watch Leah Thompson's performances. I guess I should say Michael J. Fox, since he's more than just a character. But yeah, watch everyone's performances. Everyone brings their A game to this. The writing's on point. They could teach the script in a script writing class because it follows all the rules of script writing, like 101. Which is to say, it's not like, one of those like advanced, really well written scripts, but it follows all the rules about like introducing plot points and concluding them at the right points and whatnot.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead and cue us up.
So we are watching the Blu-ray edition. That shouldn't make a huge difference to anyone watching it with us because there are no special like scenes added in or anything like that. So go ahead and cue up your movie so that it's ready to go. The zero's on the counter. And I will go ahead and give you a countdown and tell you to hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And there's the classic Universal logo.
How bummed were you when they took Back to the Future out of Universal Studios?
Dude, oddly enough, not super bummed because I got a chance to ride it. Like I would love to be able to ride it again because it's a very fun ride.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm more so just happy that I, was able to ride it while it was still there. And it happened to be like the year before they took it out too. Like, so I was like, oh man, if we had waited to go to Universal Studios, would have never gotten a chance.
Yeah. It was a ride that always made me motion sick when I rode it. Kind of
Yeah.
like Body Wars back when I was at Epcot.
Yeah.
The original Star Tours would do that to me too.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of motion, a lot of things going on, so I can totally see how that would happen.
Other motion rides like the Spider-Man ride at Islands of Adventure doesn't do that for me or any of that. But those three for some reason.
I remember
There's a little foreshadowing for you guys.
Harold Lloyd, man.
Crispin Glover.
Felix the cat and a
Is it Felix the cat?
looks like it, and then you've got like a Liberace owl.
And there's your exposition for Doc Brown, how he, set his house on fire.
Yeah. That's why it's so small in comparison to
Yeah,
what we'll see.
basically he's living in the side garage.
Yeah. His three biggest idols right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, he names
Sexy
it.
Ben Franklin.
Yeah. Played by Dean Norris.
Mm-hmm.
This is what
Ben Franklin is always sexy. Ben Franklin.
This is what, the third or fourth time you've seen this movie, Jake?
Yeah.
So it's not one that you really.
I didn't watch much as a child.
Yeah.
I've
I always
seen it.
remember that. Like, I feel like they like
Denver Broncos clock.
this was like on like TBS and TNT on the reg when I was a kid.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure it was.
That's how I was introduced to it.
Yeah. Here's a little bit more exposition for you. This is very well done exposition. Like another idea about the script being very well written.
Yeah. Stuff
Yeah.
that'll pay off later.
Yeah. Yeah, almost everything pays off, but it's not like in your face like, "Oh, this is important.
Yeah.
Look at us."
Alan Silvestri, who did
Yeah.
the music for the first Avengers film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We can't get away from him.
Yeah.
He also did both Captain Americas?
The first one.
The first one,
I
yeah.
think Brian Tyler did the second one.
Mm.
Give me a big pile of ass-looking dog food. Please.
Fine. Here you go, Samuel.
Enjoy. Ugh.
I'm
And that's the first cut of the
of that
of the
sequence,
movie.
yeah. After from this Rube Goldberg
Yeah.
sequence.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, this is actually Eric Stoltz. right
Yeah,
here.
the original choice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the original hired. The original choice always was Michael J. Fox,
Okay.
but they weren't able to rectify his schedule with family ties
Yeah.
with the filming of the movie. So they actually shot for like a month or so, I think about 5 weeks,
Yeah.
with Eric Stoltz. And finally, Rob and Rob were like, we love you, Eric Stoltz, but you are not right for the character.
Had you seen any of the footage?
I have. It's actually on the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
If you, they don't have any sound to go with it because it's recorded separately, and I guess they weren't able to recover the audio from wherever it was
Yeah.
left, because back in the 80s and whatnot,
30 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they didn't think that they were going to have a special edition 30 years in the future where people would actually want to see this stuff. So like they tracked down people that had held on to the video, but I guess they weren't able to find the audio, or maybe they didn't even record audio and they always intended to do ADR. Who knows? But yeah, you can see it on the Blu-ray, and I'm sure you can find it online. They have like the half the mall scene and something else. I forget exactly what it was.
Why do that to yourself?
Yeah. Why stand right in front of it?
Yeah.
Because it's rock and roll.
Yeah, but now he's dead.
Credits.
Yeah.
But I heard one of the big reasons why they dropped Eric Stoltz is they felt he was not as not as lighthearted
Yeah.
in his approach.
Yeah. Oh, and also, this company, the sunglasses company, paid a lot of money to have those sunglasses in that shot, and and this is the last time you see those sunglasses because they couldn't film around them
Yeah.
because they're too reflective.
Yeah. Sorry, Oakleys.
Yeah.
Or Aviators.
Whoever it was. Is Aviators actually a brand? I thought that was just a style.
I don't know.
I mean, it's definitely a style now, but
Yeah.
it could have started off as a brand, like Kleenex
Yeah.
and TiVo.
Band-Aids.
Yeah. Xerox.
Yeah.
That's enough examples, though.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I think everyone got
Yeah. I hope.
it.
And I hope this, for you guys at home, this isn't the first time you've seen Back to the Future, because we're going to be talking like some
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, like I said, being that it's my favorite movie and like my favorite movie series, I talk a lot. Like I always warn people whenever I sit down and watch Back to the Future with them, I will talk pretty much throughout the entire movie.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, on the one hand, this is a commentary, guys.
Yes. But like I probably will talk too much, like
Yeah.
in this particular commentary.
Yeah.
And it's
He's
and-
visibly excited, guys.
Yeah.
This is his favorite movie.
Yeah. I considered changing my clothes so I could wear one of my Back to the Future shirts, but I didn't.
Maybe for the sequels.
Yeah.
Which,
I do have a Back to the Future 2 shirt, like specifically.
got that for Christmas, right?
Yeah, yeah. I have one that's screen printed to look like essentially the outfit that he's wearing now, except for the red vest instead of the jean jacket. And then I have a screen printed shirt to look like his 2015 outfit with the self-drying jacket.
Yeah. That means fucking Doc Brown lives next to a Burger King.
Yeah, technically in the Burger King parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. All to show how, things developed between 1955 and 1985. Because when he goes back to 1985, it's a huge empty lot of land. More or less. I mean, he's got a lawn and a big house. And now that he's burnt down the house, he probably had to sell a lot of the land.
This is the last time. That was the only time we see Doc Brown's place in the what would be present day, right? We don't see it in the sequels.
No.
We don't know if it still burns down or not.
Yeah. That's a big thing in my head. Does it?
Yeah. Original Jennifer.
Yeah. Her mom got sick sometime after the release of this one, and she was not able to come back because she was caring for her mother.
Evil Mr. Clean.
on this Blu-ray version, whatever's going on with his neck, like when they cut to a close-up, I don't know if it's makeup or if he just has really bad skin, but oof, it's rough. The dangers of Blu-ray.
Let's kiss.
Yeah. Ugh, see it? See what I'm looking at?
Oh, I do.
Oh, good.
Yeah. A leather neck.
Hang him high.
A literal. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he got hanged a lot.
It's got a, yeah.
Oh, and there's Huey Lewis
Of,
of
who
the
did
news.
Who did
Yeah.
Power of Love.
And don't worry, if you missed that song in the beginning, you'll probably hear it about 5,000 more times.
Yeah.
Including right about,
Well,
well,
the guy playing the bass is Michael J. Fox's guitar instructor or whatever you would call consultant, maybe
coach.
yeah, the guy who's teaching him how to play this song, and then later the climax.
Yeah.
The
But yeah.
Kirk Hammett School of Guitar playing a lot of whammy.
Yeah. Unimpressed Huey Lewis.
Had his own song.
Yeah.
I do it better, asshole.
Yeah.
In 30 years, I'm going to be in a parody of American Psycho with Weird Al. Well, just one scene.
Oh.
I learned more about Huey Lewis in the News from the Bret Easton Ellis novel than I ever thought I would. Got a chapter devoted to Huey
Yeah,
Lewis.
and basically that's what they're parodying. They're talking about the movie American Psycho the same way that what's his name, Bates?
Yeah, Patrick Bateman.
Yeah, Bateman. Yeah, talks about Huey Lewis.
What's kind of weird, that car, not the green one in the background, the license plate's for Mary. That's what it says, for Mary.
Well,
Who's Mary?
Springsteen's driving her. From.
Yeah. Also, like, Hill Valley in 1985.
Pretty shitty place.
It's kind of, a lot of graffiti, a lot of, it's gone down a bit. And apparently not rich enough to fix the clock tower in 30 years. Like, that's a big thing,
Yeah. A gas war. Oof. Gas prices $1.09 for regular.
Oof.
That's actually kind of expensive for 1985. I feel.
Southern California.
Yeah. Well, like I remember, like in the early 90s.
I feel like Die Hard, the gas prices are less than $1.
Yeah.
Because they passed the Texaco on the way to the Nakatomi Towers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it wasn't until I hit like middle school in the early to mid 90s that I remember gas prices going above $1 around here.
Yeah. Right around the time I started driving is when it started to hit $2-3.
Yeah. Right around the time that I really I had to pay attention.
Yeah.
When I got my license, it was like $150, and then like a very quick spike up. It is kind of weird that it's now
30 years later, they're like, hey, we still haven't replaced this clock.
Like, I understand like her organization wanting to keep it as a landmark, but like I don't understand why they didn't do anything during those 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, did it strike and instantly people were like, landmark? Or maybe that was the start of the decline. Like, maybe they tried to fix it and went bankrupt, and that's where
the city coffers went.
This is all backstory that Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale wanted.
Yeah. There's an orgy at that theater.
Yeah. It's a porno theater.
Skin theater now.
Orgy American style.
Yeah. It's a lot of flannel and
$5.
barbecue. American Eagles.
Hot dogs and apple pies getting shoved up people's asses. And jazz music. Jazz music.
It's the great American style. Line of States, which,
such a random placement for those
they usually have them. Yeah, they usually have them on the grass.
Yeah. Or
Yeah, not in the
curb.
streets.
Yeah. Blocking the road.
always found it interesting that he still lives in the same
Yeah,
house.
in the future.
Yeah.
That was always something that
I mean, I could
struck me.
nitpick this thing all day. But
in the original script, he does not. And
Yeah.
Doc actually picks him up. But I'll get into that at the climax. Everyone pay attention to the jar of candies, by the way. See how it's fully full right now? There's a nitpicky thing coming up in like 2 minutes.
Yeah. Must have been a long day on the set. Just
Yeah,
eating
I'm
candy.
sure. Brian Wilson just... Look at that hair, too. Biff's pretty coif.
Yeah, kind of looking like Gerald Ford.
I always was curious where they worked, that he's, I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about office jobs and typing reports and whatnot, but, see, now it's half full. Before he even touched it. Even in Blu-ray quality, I think they did an amazing job with like the old woman makeup for all the adult versions.
Yeah, I would
because
say
all these guys are about the same age.
Yeah,
while they're filming this,
I would honestly say more so. Crispin Glover and Leah Thompson's
Yeah.
makeup is the most convincing.
yeah, because Crispin Glover's actually a year younger than Michael J. Fox, if I remember correctly. Like, yeah, like they're all around like 1920 while they're filming this, I think. Yeah. I always thought Crispin Glover was like old, like years older, just because he does such a good job of playing an old man, or older man.
Yeah,
and he loves his
peanut
butter.
brittle.
Yeah,
Eek, I've never been a fan, honestly.
Yeah, it's like, once every couple of years.
Just to remind myself
Have a
how much
bite.
I think it sucks.
Yeah.
We have that edition of life, the game of life.
but like I think this scene especially is like should be on Leah Thompson's acting reel.
Yeah, it's great.
Because she does such a beautiful job of like subtle acting.
Yeah,
Like if you just like pay attention to the way that she delivers her lines and like where she takes her like pauses and stuff like that.
Well, there's kind of like a lot of like regret and kind of like this like a lot of like
mm-hmm.
broken, kind of somebody that kind of has been worn down by time.
Yeah.
In this continuity in this future.
Mm-hmm. And clearly, self-medicating with alcohol.
Yeah. In a loveless marriage,
Mm-hmm.
remembering the good old days with George.
Yeah. Lies. Mega lies. Well, I guess she doesn't call in 1955.
Just spitting up his pelvis. Do you want to go to dance with me?
Just look at that.
It's the most uncomfortable dinner ever.
Yeah.
Like Marty's just like, I have to deal with this every fucking day.
I'm going to go back to the past and change everything.
Yeah. Also,
Most uncomfortable looking sleeping position ever.
I know. The suspenders make him look like he's wearing assless chaps.
Yeah. It's my favorite part.
Just like that cowboy at the bar.
You saw him.
There's, well, you
Yeah, that's right, I
pointed it
pointed
out,
out.
yeah.
There's a cowboy that comes to my bar like every week, and usually it's just like cowboy hat and maybe like, you know, button-up shirt of
Flannel,
some sort.
yeah.
Yeah, and then like tight jeans. But this week he outdid himself, and he had assless chaps over his jeans. Oh, hey, everyone, look, Twin Pines Mall. Everyone remember that it said that.
Yeah.
Because that's...
Everyone points that one out.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It's like some big thing.
Yeah, a couple months ago, BuzzFeed or one of those websites posted an article that was like the biggest thing that you never noticed in Back to the Future, and I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. You know, not a lot of people picked up on that. Even I didn't pick up on it for the first 10 years or whatever. But then like every like BuzzFeed-esque website started picking up on it as if they were the ones that were dropping the news, and I was like, oh my God, fuck everything. It's a well-known fact. Or at least by now, by internet standards it was. By now, when you're listening to this commentary, maybe you forgot about it or missed that article. So enjoy paying attention to it now and discovering it on your own.
Was there any rationale for them picking a DeLorean other than, Doc's little rationale, like in passing, why he picked a DeLorean?
To my knowledge, no. Like, there wasn't anything like specific, like behind the scenes, like one of them owned a DeLorean and loved it or something like that. No, as far as I know, they just were like, this is a staple of the 80s.
He didn't have to. I mean, this was something that they offered him to. He didn't have to. Christopher Lloyd didn't have to audition for Doc Brown.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. He's perfect for the role.
At first, he was considering not taking it because he was offered a play up in the New England area. And he's like, I'm kind of want to get back to stage work. That's what I started on, and I haven't done it for a while. I did Taxi and Star Trek 3. I kind of want to get back to that. And then his girlfriend at the time was like, you should at least, read the script. And he did, and he was like, yeah. And then it turns out that play ended up bombing.
Yeah, and this was probably the best career decision of his life.
Oh,
as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't think of any other role. The only thing that comes close would be his role as Fester in the Addams Family films.
I was going to bring that up. Yeah, I remember when the Addams Family movies came out, when the first one came out, my mom was like, that's Doc Brown, right? And I was like, no, it's not, because I couldn't see past the makeup.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
the
if we're talking
head.
good makeup jobs,
yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, it was. Again, it wasn't until like Addams Family Values came out where I was like old enough to really like see past it and be like, oh yeah, no, he's totally acting like Christopher Lloyd acts, because it's the same kind of like almost like neurotic,
like almost like there's a nervous twitch to it,
really uncomfortable with himself kind of thing.
Yeah.
In this one, because he's so intelligent. In that one, because he's fucking
Fester
weirdo.
Fucking
So, as an interesting point, going back to what I was saying about the original script, the DeLorean is not in the original script. There is no vehicle. It is a turret gun kind of thing, kind of like the Honey I Shrunk the Kid,
or
laser
Tron.
beam or Tron beam thing that sends him back, and somehow, just by the luck of the Irish, he has full schematics for it in 1955 because that's how long he's been working on it, and it was literally just like something that Marty did in 1985 that actually got it to work. So that's all he had to change to be able to send him back into the future. But because they didn't have a car, they don't have the same climax with the whole lightning, going into the flux capacitor. So they actually have to go to cause the reaction. They need like the equivalent of a nuclear explosion, which is kind of what it still does in this movie. But they actually have to go to like the Nevada desert where there's testing being done and run a truck that has a refrigerator on it that's set up with this beam thing.
Which Spielberg, of course,
Yeah.
salvages.
Mm-hmm. Bombing the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the greatest Indiana Jones film.
But yeah, it's the original script is online. If you have a chance, I recommend checking it out. It's
Quite
not
a bit, yeah.
it's not awful, but
It's quite a bit different.
Yeah, I would have never watched the movie had it been the original script. But all the heart is there, and
Yeah.
and that's what people like Steven Spielberg saw in the movie and helped make it happen.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of the first like big Amblin Entertainment things. Back
Yeah.
before he formed DreamWorks,
Mm.
it was like this and
Home Alone, I think. Wasn't that Amblin?
I don't know if it's Amblin. I know. I certainly know. Speaking of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, that was Amblin Entertainment.
Was
Yep.
E.T. Amblin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's
That's
that-
the logo, right?
yeah.
They have the moon with
Yeah,
E.T.
I feel like that's what built it.
Yeah.
That and I think the Goonies was kind of that era. Maybe certainly Gremlins.
Yeah.
His kind of it's subtle here, like it's certainly more subtle than Crispin Glover and Leah Thompson's makeup, but he's kind of got old man makeup too.
Yeah, that was actually something that I never picked up on, just because like he's already kind of an old man. So in
Yeah.
my childhood eyes, all I see is an old man.
Yeah,
I don't see that he's older
Yeah.
here, but like they play on that in the sequel when he, tears off
Yeah.
his face.
The big indicator here is that in the 80s he's got the long white hair,
Mm-hmm.
whereas he's kind of got the shorter, dirty, starting to gray, like blonde hair
Yeah.
in 1955. It's like my car this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kill me.
He's like merged with the seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Get the fuck out of here.
I need more pot.
Security guard at JCPenney sees all this. He's like, nope.
What
Nope.
the fuck?
Just going home. Just going home.
I just saw a car explode and then remanifest itself.
Yeah. Gonna go watch Elf.
Thanks for fixing that focus, Marty.
They actually go back to Birth of Christ or the or the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
They're going to be pretty sorely disappointed when they go to the year 0 and the day December 25th and find out that that's not actually when Jesus was born.
Just a pagan holiday.
Yeah.
Reappropriated.
Also,
Just an office party.
Yeah.
Also, it's like theorized that it was actually like 3 BC or something like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of funky looking necks.
I mean, again, the old man makeup.
Yeah.
Which is probably, now that I'm looking at the makeup style and seeing how similar it was on Strickland, that's probably what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, because, they have Strickland in 85 and 55. They got to do something to make him look younger and older.
Yeah, he's just
if
more
anything,
bald.
subtly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's more bald in 50 or in 85.
Man, never had hair.
Yeah.
Not until 1885.
I knew
Oh,
guy-
look at the neck right there is like the worst.
Yeah.
Oof.
I knew guys that were like noticeably balding, like end of high school, college year 1.
Yeah.
I knew dudes in high school who had like full beards.
Wow, full beard is. I mean, I started shaving when I was 11.
I know, but like a full.
But yeah, like
beard.
what I'm rocking right now
Yeah.
in high school.
Yeah. Guys that look like 30 when they were like.
Yeah, maybe they
17.
were.
Yeah, who knows?
They're pulling a Never Been Kissed.
I remember a guy that was 20 when he graduated from high school. That was in my graduating class.
I knew a guy like that.
Yeah.
I wonder what Dr. E. Brown Enterprises is.
Yeah, what do they do?
Freelance Scientology.
I
Wait.
mean, clearly he takes requests from Libyan nationals to weaponize.
He was. I don't know if that was so much a voluntary operation.
I don't know.
That's true.
And they did kind of seek him out. Hey, what about that?
They did
random,
let him go.
yeah, that random guy in Southern California that could probably weaponize this plutonium for us. Also, 80s. You can kind of get around. you can get away with having like pseudo comedic terrorists show up.
Yeah. Also, the line we were talking over it, but like Marty says something about you can't just go to the store and pick up plutonium. When he first brings up that it's plutonium, there's a throwback to that later on too, and it's funny. Jesus, look at how crazy his eyes are. Just like the Gray's Sports Almanac. Kind of. You remember photo booth, like kiosks in parking lots, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
them in Targets and stuff, too.
Yeah. Remember 1 hour photo?
With Robin Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was creepy.
Creepiest performance he ever did. I mean, very much intentionally so.
Yeah. Even creepier than Insomnia. Aw, his cute little radiation suit that does nothing. The Volkswagen bus. Vehicle of choice of Libyan nationals.
Militant ones.
Yeah. They're firing at you. Of course you're going to draw their fire.
Thank God none of the bullets hit the face.
Yeah. Which is impressive for a gun that has, recoil.
Well, yeah, especially something like an AK-47.
Yeah.
Getting their discount Kalashnikovs.
Damn Soviet gun. Damn German car.
What's funny because that's an AK-47, and those things are like famous for not jamming ever.
Yeah.
I think it fire underwater.
Yeah, that was.
Also, there's no. I mean, like I said, everyone hopefully has seen this movie, so I'm
Plot
not
armor,
spoiling
yeah.
it. But there's no body armor that can stop an AK-47.
Yeah.
There's no bulletproof vest.
Unless Doc Brown invented it.
Oh.
In which case, why has he kept it for himself?
Yeah.
Just for himself.
That's true. It's even worse.
Yeah.
Because if he
Spread it.
if he made it public, then they would have had a better gun.
Would they though? Because their gun sucks.
It's inflation, or not
Yeah.
inflation.
Escalation.
Escalation. Yeah, just like in The Dark Knight.
Yeah, we start.
What's Batman Begins?
Yeah.
Was it Batman?
Yeah,
It's
in the
the
end.
final conversation. Though
And
that
you're wearing a mask.
jumping off rooftops.
Yeah. And you have a mustache. Fuck you. Beginning and end of their
My
relationship.
parents are dead.
Yeah, he gets super pissed and like, I like my mask. RPG.
Should we have let off with the RPG? Should we have blown
Use your bulletproof vest on this, bitch.
Yeah, I always wondered what happens to the Libyans after they cry. Like, does the photo booth just kill them?
They explode.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever seen how film reacts to fire?
I saw Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It melts.
Yeah.
Sets other things on
Yeah.
fire.
Buongiorno.
Ah.
Funny. What the fuck was that?
So, in case you haven't noticed, we're in 1955 now. And those were two pine trees sitting next to each other. One could say they were twin pines. An airplane, Pa. An airplane. Space zombies.
Honestly, at this point, cars fucking exist.
Yeah.
They might look different,
Yeah.
but they fucking exist. Come on, old man.
Yeah, I'm
Corrupt.
pretty sure you'd be able to tell what headlights were.
Yeah. I mean, it's even got like a brand name. I know the DeLorean Motor Company didn't exist in 1955, but the General Motor Company did.
And they have very similar logo.
Yeah. I'm sure you could find tires or see the tires.
But you know what? This is like the middle. This is like 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Assuming that he, went back at the same time of day.
Yeah.
These are country bumpkins.
Yeah. And Doc Brown
and they
before
just woke up.
Yeah, Doc Brown commenting on what used to be at the shopping mall did comment that maybe this guy wasn't working with a full deck.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted to raise pine cones.
Yeah.
One of my favorite shots of this movie, it's already passed, but in most time travel movies, the transition from wherever you are to wherever you're going, there's this huge,
you have like a wormhole. Kind of
wormhole. Whoa!
Yeah.
It's just this awesome cut of now you're there.
Yeah,
I've always liked that.
Old man Peabody.
Yeah, and as they're one tree down now, one pine tree down anyway.
Yeah, the Twin Pines Ranch, no more.
It's One Tree Hill.
Yeah, Sophia Bush is there.
Yeah, the other guy,
Chad
Michael Murray,
Murray.
who left Gilmore Girls to do that show.
Yeah, married Sophia Bush,
Yeah, and cheated on her.
divorced within a year.
He's like a stormtrooper.
Yeah, Chevy Chase.
See, that's why it was so bad, because they started with the gate.
Yeah, it's almost like they could just move it back. Like,
Whoa. That's like cement. It's heavy.
yeah,
It's not like they can just build around it.
yeah.
Was he driving for hours?
Like,
Yeah, apparently, because
hey, it's the Kents.
Yeah.
Martha, get the fuck out!
go find a meteor coming down.
Go find a naked child who lifts the car.
Depending on which continuity you're talking about.
Well,
I mean, in the movie,
In the
you
movie.
totally see his
Christopher
wiener.
Reeves. Yeah, you see. Yes.
Yes, that's one of the continuities.
Well, you also see his wiener in Man of Steel.
Yeah. Wait, Little Kent?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kal-El. Well, he's not known as Clark yet.
Because Henry Cavill.
Oh yeah, you don't see Cattle Dong
No.
or Reeve Dong.
No.
Shame.
They had to digitally reduce Routh
Yeah,
Dong.
Brendan Routh Donger.
Well, and now they are doing that in Arrow, too, because
It's all digitally
he's,
reduced.
He's the Atom. He's digitally reducing everything. He donned the suit ages ago, because this isn't coming out.
The season's almost done.
Yeah.
Probably.
Nice nod to
Yeah.
what Ronald Reagan's doing in 1955. Apparently, he loved this film so much that he quoted it during the State of the Union and briefly considered cameoing.
Yeah, because they have Ronald Reagan as a character in the second one, and
Yeah.
he was all gung-ho and, ready to act, play himself in it.
Yeah.
But at the last minute, I think his people decided that it would be better for his career to not parody himself.
Yeah. Even though at that point he was out of the office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. HW was the president when 2 and 3 came out.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
Ah, moon shoes. Stupid in 1955, just like they're stupid now.
You remember the 90s, Nickelodeon moon shoes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I wanted a pair of those so bad.
I just got Gak.
Yeah,
Gak.
Gak was
I
awesome.
was cool with the Gak.
Gotta get Gak.
Gotta get that Gak.
Gotta Gak.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta
oh,
get,
yeah.
get.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
oh,
Oh,
God,
yeah.
the clock tower's working.
Yeah. A nice place to live. Does it still have that sign in 1985?
It has a different version of it, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's all covered in graffiti.
Yeah, no more titty theaters. No more Goldie running for mayor. Because you'll see him in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Here you go, youngster. Go ahead and...
Yeah, in case you're wondering what year it was.
In the year of our Lord,
Yeah, no,
1955.
Yes. 30 winters ago.
I wonder if anybody like actually looks at the currency he hands out in these first few. It's like unless who knows, maybe his coins are 30 years old or older.
That was a plot point in the original script that they did away with, apparently. Like there's a short exchange where after the whole give me a tab, I can't start a tab unless you buy something, blah blah blah. That whole hilarious exchange.
Yeah,
and he puts coins down. And he's like, "What's this? This is funny money," because it says 1985 on it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I have some pennies in my pocket right now that are like decades old.
Fun fact, a tab is actually owned by the Coca-Cola Corporation.
Oh.
Yeah. It's the only reference to Coca-Cola in the movie series.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny to me, at least, because in the original script, the random thing that Marty does to the time machine is pour new Coke in it.
There's Billy Zane.
Phantom.
And that's
Walker
what magically
walks.
makes it.
Yeah.
That's what magically makes it work. This
The
is also one of
who walks.
This is also
The
one of the
man.
first movies that Billy Zane was in.
The man who cannot die. I hope if they ever make a Phantom movie again, that he plays
Billy
Kid
Zane
Walker.
still does it.
Well, that he plays Kid Walker's father, because
Kinda
that
like
would
what they did
have
with the Flash.
yeah, that would mean that he was once the Phantom and now is giving it to the new Kid Walker, like because it's all about legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And from everything I've read, it seems that he had a good time making the movie and enjoyed it.
He was really committed to the role.
Oh,
too.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he worked out so he wouldn't have to have any padding at all.
No bodysuit. When they saw him the first time, they're like, "Oh,
Like what-
boy."
Christopher Reeve did for Superman 2
Mm-hmm. But we'll save that for
when we
Under
watched
the
the Superman
commentary.
movies.
the Phantom.
Or the Phantom.
Remember, Jake's Day is coming in like months.
Yeah,
But maybe
maybe the Phantom will
maybe
show
the
up.
Phantom.
Maybe the Shadow will.
Maybe we'll we'll slam evil.
Hey, it's Goldie Wilson, future mayor of Hill Valley.
That was some face acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you got the George McFly side eye, kind of like eyeing like wide-eyed Marty, like oh,
Yeah.
there it is again.
Uh-huh. Ah. George
Yeah.
was looking the wrong way.
Yeah, I always, why he's called Goldie, right?
Because of the gold tooth.
Yeah, I never noticed that as a kid. I just saw regular teeth.
I mean, you were watching it on standard def.
Yeah,
Could have been a big of it. Or
Yeah.
big bit. What? A big of it? The hell does that mean?
he's like the Flash. He's like Batman. You'll never have to.
It's like Batman 89. What the hell is wrong? Oh, this is the movie.
Yeah.
I remembered a while ago watching a movie and being like, "Is this the street from Halloween?"
Yeah,
I think that was I think that's the hedge that like Mike Myers like pops out of.
yeah.
And
It's
like,
hard to say because like I feel like
I mean,
a
it's
lot of
a generic
Yeah.
suburb
a lot of
street.
SoCal looks
Hiding
the same.
behind laundry,
Yeah.
staring at Laurie Strode in school.
Yeah. Yeah, Crispin Glover, like George McFly grows up to be Mike Myers.
After seeing this,
Yeah.
although granted, this is like the most mild
Oh,
traumatic event
Jesus
that happens
Christ.
to Marty in
Yeah.
1955.
You always see
Ooh.
like the back of his head hit the
Yeah.
asphalt.
Oh God.
Like twice. Like
Kills
he commits
me.
to it and it's like,
Yeah.
"Oosh."
That's like when I was filming my zombie movie and Mickey Jake, you know Mickey.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
He needed my alarm clock to fall on his head.
Mm-hmm.
No, he just needed to switch off my alarm clock. But he was like, "Oh, wouldn't it be great if like I hit it, and then when I'm bringing my hand down, it falls and hits me on the head?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then he does it, and it actually smacks him on the head.
Jeez.
Yeah, and he just goes with it.
Goes the man.
And then I had to do a second take of it too.
Sam Raimi'd him.
Yeah. And then I used the first take.
Yeah.
Good solid lighting right there. She's so beautiful. Even in Howard the Duck.
I mean, Howard the Duck's not her fault.
It's George Lucas's fault.
Just like, I mean, come on. Just, the list goes on.
That was like the first red flag.
Oh boy, so I'm Haynes. No first name, just Haynes.
I'm Jockey.
Haynes.
Hello, Haynes.
Haynes.
I don't know what the fuck I am.
Fruit of the Loom.
Nothing.
Probably Fruit of the Loom.
Please
So-
be Mr. Fruit of the Loom.
So I've
Loom.
always wondered like how
In the year of our Lord.
how messed up is she when Calvin Klein comes out as like a famous designer, you know, and she's like, "Oh, I knew him."
Even though he clearly like looks like a not Marty, like not Michael J. Fox.
Hey, you know what? It's all right. She doesn't see that her son looks like the guy that got her and her future husband together.
Yeah.
So
It'd be like that scene in the end of the first the Fly remake when she gives birth to like the larva. She gives birth and she's like this, one day this looks like my friend from high school.
Ah! My friend that I knew for 1 week.
Yeah. It's a big family, including Wayne from the Wonder Years.
That's right. Before he sucks up Kevin's gerbil with the vacuum cleaner.
Does that kill it?
Pretty much dead.
Yeah.
I don't think they go in there. I'm pretty sure it dies.
It's just they just assume he
Yeah.
could maybe he made it.
Maybe he did, and there there'll
Maybe
be
he
a
was like
spin-off.
Bronson in The Great Escape.
Yeah, there'll be a spin-off where it's what happened to Kevin's gerbil.
Yeah.
And then it turns into that episode of South Park.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let me
Lemmy
winks.
Winks. Yeah.
Let me winks. Let me winks.
Did you guys ever have a TV on wheels?
No, I had
Not
a
on
T-
wheels.
I had a
no.
TV that would shut off. It would and so we had to go up and smack the side of it
Oh.
to turn it back on. It would shut off randomly.
I was about to say this one shuts off too. I got to just hit the power button.
Zibbity.
Wild to think that at some point it was a pipe dream to have multiple TVs.
Yeah.
At one point, I had multiple TVs in my room.
Yeah. I had a TV for my vintage consoles and a TV for my current consoles.
Mm.
So if I ever wanted to like rock a Nintendo 64 game, yeah.
Oh, and we talked over a cute reference to Uncle Jailbird Joey, the baby that's in the playpen. It's a cute concept that like he's actually just more comfortable with bars around
Behind
him.
bars.
So
We never actually see him outside of that baby.
yeah,
Like, gets a very passing reference in 1985 as a guy that's denied parole for God knows how many times.
yeah.
Who knows?
He's
Maybe
like
as soon
Charles
as,
Bronson.
yeah, the other Charles Bronson. Well,
Yeah.
either Charles Bronson. Like Charles Bronson in The Great Escape. He's
Bronson Johnson.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how awkward Marty would feel having.
His
Have,
mom. Yeah. Oh, instinctual boner. Oh God. Let me beat my testicles until they no longer operate.
I have the weirdest boner right now.
Yeah. That was the big hang-up because they, had approached Disney with this film.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. They had gone through all of these studios, and all of them were trying to make movies like Porky's and
Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah. Wild, sexy, coming of age movies.
Risky business.
And they were like it's not sexy enough, And then they go to Disney, and that was their one hang-up.
Like, why is his...
It's too incestual.
Yeah. Which,
I see it. I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's funny that everyone else is like, you're not going far enough. And then Disney's like, you're going way too far.
Yeah.
And then Steven Spielberg gave it the thumbs up, and Universal was like, oh, well, if Steven Spielberg likes it.
Yeah, because I feel like he was producing more stuff than directing stuff in the 80s. I mean, sure, of course he did, like E.T. and stuff, but I feel like he took more of a kind of a behind-the-scenes role.
There's always so much smoke around the dock. I don't know if that's because things are burning or if things are burning, you know what I'm saying?
Straight up Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Scene.
Yeah. That's what I always thought.
Does anyone else feel like a fried egg?
Oh, man.
Babe, you're fired.
Well, that's going to gross just about everybody out.
Yeah.
When they hear that.
Yeah. I don't know why, but that sound effect always makes me giggle. I need to make a headset like that. Just walk around a convention.
You got to get the bathrobe too.
Yeah, the snakeskin bathrobe.
Yeah.
Clearly a man who just has too much money to just blow.
Yeah. We don't know. Do we ever find out how the Brown family gets their family fortune?
No, I don't believe we do. We know that they're Germans and they moved over during World War I, and they used to be called the Von Brauns.
Not unlike Warner.
Yeah. What a stupid question to ask. Like there's no way for him to fact check that.
Yeah.
It's just they wanted to make a joke about
joke, yeah. Back when he was married to Jane Wyman.
If I remember correctly from the original script, the flux capacitor is more or less the only thing that maintains from the draft to the final movie version of the time machine.
Powers the laser or the beam.
Yeah. But I believe it looks completely different. I can't remember how they described it, but I don't think it was the trident looking thing.
Yeah. 3 prongs.
Mm. I once made a video in film school, and I had a chalkboard that I needed to fill up with stuff, and one of the things that I did was that sketch.
Yeah.
I redid that sketch, and then I also redid the timeline and the alternate timeline that he does in Back to the Future Part 2. And then I made up some fake maths. You bet your ass. Sounds like something Sam would say.
Mm. Good thing you can get the input to work on the 30-year-old TV.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he just bastardized the antenna array.
Yeah. Big fear in 1955.
Yeah. And then the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Still better than the Phantom Menace.
And that line about the president being an actor because he has to be on television, not entirely wrong, because that's the whole reason why JFK won the election over Nixon, right?
Well, certainly helped.
Yeah. Yeah, because he looked better on the televised debates.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't look like he was, being interrogated and sweating and
Yeah.
puffy.
Yeah, as if he was like a crook or something.
Hey, he's not a crook.
Yeah. If there's anything Forrest Gump taught me.
Also,
Oh, come on, Doc. You should have picked Tesla.
yeah, right? A gigawatt is a totally acceptable alternate pronunciation to a gigawatt, although in this particular instance in Back to the Future, they are not the same thing because their scientific consultant pronounced it gigawatt, and they didn't know that he was talking about a gigawatt, so they just wrote it as JIGGA watt. And they have no idea how much a gigawatt is in comparison to a watt.
Gigawa? Gigahoo?
Gigamane.
I actually saw the first rapper I saw live was Jay-Z, and he did that song. Then I saw Outkast, and hopefully I'll see Snoop Dogg. It'll be like old school. It's a bit of a Chekhov's gun, that flyer.
Except they didn't wait for the third act.
Yeah. But just like the most mundane object.
But yeah,
that-
very, very convenient.
Yeah. There's a lot of kind of Chekhov's guns, but I think that for me that's the most like that is the most glaring.
I mean, that's like the kind of what you need in a time travel movie, set up and payoff kind of things that just happen to work out. Like, him talking about the flux capacitor and that flyer and the enchantment under the sea dance. The fact that Marty knows how to play guitar.
Great Scott.
This is heavy.
Great Scott Productions.
That's such a that's a moment of The Office, when they were like just running on all cylinders, firing on all cylinders, where like it's awkward when they're playing the slideshow of like Dunder Mifflin and that shot of what's his name?
Stanley?
Stanley, like that slow
Yeah, he
look
looks up.
Yeah,
then
slowly,
looks-
yeah, to the side, and then it's over, and you think it just can't get any more awkward, and then just a pause, and you just hear, "Great Scott!" A Michael Scott joint.
Look at that hat.
Yeah.
I wonder who Ron Woodward really is.
And did he make it for senior class president?
Because if I were on production, like if I were like set design or whatever, I would totally like just be like, "Oh, that's my best friend from high school," or something like that.
You know, it was really cool. My mom was like, we were looking through old yearbooks one time, and she was like, we were looking through her old yearbook, and in the back, people were signing it, and one of the things people were signing all over the place was "Vote Jimmy Page for God," which I thought was kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Did he win?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
No, Clapton beat him. Or Lemmy,
Lemmy's a bassist.
but he is God.
Fair point. Honestly, Jimmy Page is probably the coolest, but John Paul Jones is really the backbone of Led
Oh, yeah.
Zeppelin.
That sign for the pep rally, it always
He's
remember.
like the quietest one out of all.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like even like everyone knows John Bonham because he was such a prolific drummer and happened to pass away while they were still like making like in their heyday.
Oh yeah.
And then like
I was about to say, I don't know if they're at their peak. I mean,
Yeah.
through the outdoor. Come on.
yeah. But while they were still very notable.
Yeah.
And then like Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, they're like the front men essentially.
Oh yeah, they're the face of Zeppelin.
Yeah. And then John Paul Jones.
John Paul Jones,
He's
probably.
just- He was the bassist, right?
Yep.
Bassist,
Yeah.
keyboards.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Of course, multiple
arrangements.
Yeah.
Jimmy Page is what made me want to like keep playing guitar in middle school and then go on and do guitar class and ensemble in high school.
Yeah.
He was the big influence.
Yeah. What's that thing on his pocket? It looks like a column.
I think it's just like not quite a monogram, but like like a logo kind of thing.
Yeah. For I guess whatever E. Brown Enterprises is in 1955.
Maybe.
Though he probably doesn't have to have it in 1955 because he's so fucking rich.
Yeah.
Just gets to try to invent things that don't work.
It'd be nice to not have to work and have enough disposable income
To come up
or
with
disposable.
Yeah. To build weird failed mind reading
Be
equipment.
there or be square, but it's
Yeah.
hip to be square.
Yeah.
Oh, not yet.
It's hip to be square. There's the girl that I love. Fix your hair.
Stories.
Oh God, his hair in this scene always just like.
Really?
I mean,
I always like the kind of like messy in the face hair.
It bothers me that it's that one strand.
Oh yeah.
You know, like maybe if it were the style that like like what the kids are doing nowadays.
That's probably a Crispin Glover thing. Like it's part of my my genius, part of my my method of.
Yeah. It was a shame he didn't come back for the sequels.
Yeah.
My favorite Crispin Glover thing, I swear to God, I'm not joking, is Hot Tub Time Machine.
He's great. Yeah, he's
Bellhop
arguably
boy. Oh, it's so funny.
arguably the best part.
Yeah. Chevy keeps referring to what's his face from The Office as a woman.
Yeah. Craig Robinson.
Daryl, or well, yeah.
No,
Daryl from
the Dwight lookalike. The
Oh,
kid they say is
Clark
Dwight
Duke?
Jr.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't really have any interest to see the sequel.
Me neither. I'll see it eventually, but I'm
I've heard
not.
nothing but bad things,
Yeah.
except for from the cast. But of course
Well,
they're gonna
yeah,
say
yeah.
nice things.
They said that John Cusack, like he never said no. They just didn't ask him.
Honestly, Adam Scott probably plays better with them all anyway.
Yeah, I like Adam Scott. a
Where's
lot.
Billy Zane? Ooh.
Rapist Biff.
I like how 3D is like, I gotta get on screen.
Oh, that's right. You're still bigger than me. And there's 3 of you. But he
And Billy
still,
Zane somewhere too.
Yeah.
Billy Zane apparently has a different lunch schedule.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish I was there.
Goes to-
Matches.
Goes 2 walks.
Yeah. You want to be Ghost? You want to walk like Ghosts? Now be Ghosts. God,
Slam evil.
slam it hard.
Meow.
He works like he's like a Jurassic Park, like the
The
T-Rex in
T-Rex. Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Sees something that distracts him, and he's just like. To be fair, he
That is creepy as fuck.
Yeah. Nice jacket thing.
The weird thing is, if I like this happened to me and I went back in time and like met my dad in high school, we would look like twins. Like
Yeah.
it would be weird. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
my dad and I, when we were like middle school, high school, well, mostly middle school, we looked exactly alike.
Yeah,
and then he actually like was a big guy in high school.
Especially like if you did it like and you guys were about the same age when
Yeah.
you went back.
we
Oh
would
god,
look
no,
exactly
me and
the same.
same with my dad. There's a picture of me, a picture of
Just
my
feet,
older
that's
brother.
terrifying.
Yeah, right. There's a picture of me, a picture of my older brother, and a picture of my dad. We're all about the same age in the pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and like you hold them up, and the only reason why you can tell which one is which is like just the quality of the photography.
Well, your dad was like getting ready to start doing like a lot of comic stuff because he's George Perez, right?
Yeah, exactly. That basically is my story. Like if I went back in time, I'd have to convince him to write comics.
This is why Crispin Glover goes insane.
Yeah. By the way, the hairdryer on his belt.
Mm-hmm.
There's a deleted scene that talks about the hairdryer because the hairdryer hadn't been invented yet, so it would have to be something that Marty brought from the future. And there's a deleted scene where like Marty is looking through the stuff in the DeLorean, and he's like, "Oh, this gun thing," and he also has a Playboy.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that given the nature of Doc Brown's coif.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he says he's Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan. Which is why I have that T-shirt that's him doing that pose, but also holding Darth Vader's lightsaber.
Yeah.
Also, the original cut of that scene is much longer and basically explains everything that you don't need because it's already been explained to you. And also, he says it here, and this is a much better delivery. And also, that shirt is amazing, and I really want to find it. The shirt that Marty's wearing.
I like his jacket.
I want that shirt. Someone buy it for me. Someone find it for me.
There's a crazy piece of fashion that I've always thought was just the coolest thing is the sweater, like the Falcon sweater that Dirk Diggler wears in Boogie Nights. I think it's the coolest sweater in the world. So. I like how he fixed his hair and then immediately goes back to how it was.
Yeah, because it's Glover hair.
Ladies, Crispin Glover.
Tuck your shirt in, man. Thank you.
There you go. He heard you. What's his face jamming in the
Goldie
background?
just like going to town. Yeah,
that's the one. Like if I was like back in 1955, I'd immediately find like a diner and just be like, "Yo, a milkshake and a burger," and just chill.
I know where my dad would be at the Frozen Dairy Bar in Falls Church.
Yeah.
The old barback at my bar would dance around like Goldie Wilson is.
Oh
now.
Yeah, I remember.
He was the.
I was sorry.
I used to call him like Goldie Wilson and stuff like that.
Oh, she's reading For Whom the Bell Tolls. But yeah, I was sorry to see that. Sorry to see that. Barback go.
Yeah. For whom the bell tolls, time marches on.
It's probably my favorite Hemingway book.
Oh, they're gonna say Metallica song.
It's a good one.
One of my favorite parts when they do it live is like, "Take a look to the sky just before you die.
Goes to
it's
walks.
the last time you will." Yeah, he just learned about his heritage in the jungle.
Yeah, that's why he wasn't
Old
at
jungle
lunch.
saying, yeah. For those who came in late. Billy Zane would have been a great Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Especially after he shaved his head a couple years back.
Yeah.
You know what I think he started? I don't know if this is exactly right or not, but it's during the Phantom because when he wears the cap, he's bald.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously filming those scenes last. So
yeah, because he had a nice.
He had a nice.
Oh yeah.
Nice set of hair.
Domino effect.
Oh. When he knocks over the ghost who walks.
Yeah.
Ghost who falls.
Fuck off.
Yeah. He just wrecked that guy's toy.
Man, I hope these wheels work like skateboard wheels.
I spent 2 weeks on that, you little fucker.
Oh, look at all the scratch marks on the pavement.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of skateboarding in this movie,
He does.
Do you know if it's all him? Like,
a good chunk of it is. He does, or he
like the shot of his feet.
Probably a stuntman.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
just
like,
because they needed
like,
to.
The stuff in the beginning where he's like catching the back of the
Yeah.
cars.
Yeah.
I mean, you can clearly tell it's him.
Yeah.
And it's like all has to be on time.
Yeah,
he's
but
grabbing
he is. Yeah, but yeah, he is. There's a behind the scenes clip where he's like trying to do like tricks with the board.
Yeah.
And he's messing up, and he's like, "I've been skating for 18 years and still can't do this."
How old is he at the point of the first one?
I want to say he's about 20, here.
So he's been
like
skateboarding
in real
since
life.
he was 2?
Well, no, this is a clip from the second one where he says that.
Okay. Which is like 4 years later, so yeah.
So when he was like 6.
Yeah.
I can believe that.
I was never the best skateboarder.
Me neither.
I tried once and I fell on my ass and I was like, never again.
Yeah.
I had a lot of friends who were like really, really good at it.
Yeah. You got to be willing to fall. But
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing. Like, I think, you know.
I always considered it a good run if I could. No tricks. Just point A to point B.
Cool stunt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Goes to shits.
Goes who gets shit on.
He probably gets the least of it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. You lucked out. Ghost who walks.
Yeah.
Goes who walks away.
Old Jungle saying, man who runs into truck full of shit gets covered in shit.
Yep. I know that saying well.
Yeah.
That's how I live my life.
Yeah.
Tom Wilson, stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Also supporting character on Freaks and Geeks.
Mm-hmm.
Probably my favorite role outside of Back to the Future for him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he was great as the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Or slash gym teacher.
I love it when he talks about Rocky 2. He's just like, yo, you see Rocky 2? Carl Weathers is so ripped.
He is.
Oh, man. I mean, like all the...
Out of all things to say. Although I had an inadvertent moment when I said something like that where I was at a Blockbuster working at the time in Greenbrier.
Yeah.
And Predators had come out on DVD.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
I was trying to sell the movie, and my way of selling it, just because I was excited, I actually liked the movie. I was like, yo, he was like, is it good? I was like, yo, Adrian Brody got jacked for it, and the guy was like, how does that?
Yeah,
what does that man?
so
what? Have you seen Rocky 2 though, man?
Yeah,
Carl Weathers is so jacked. That's the funniest way to sell Rocky 2.
It was his character. It was the coach's way to try to like. Because he was dating Martin Starr's character's mom on the show, and that was kind of like they was like, "Hey, you see Rocky?" That was like his icebreaker.
He's pretty jacked. I mean, he's consistently jacked.
Oh,
through
yeah.
the 4 movies he's in.
Yeah,
like
he's clearly like a better runner than Stallone in Rocky 3 during that montage. You can tell Stallone's running as fast as he can, and Carl Weathers just like,
Carl's like, please,
yeah, come on.
I'm gonna be a
used to-
recurring character on Arrested Development in 30 years.
Yeah. I'm going to be Action Jackson.
Yeah.
I have that movie on DVD.
Being Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. And Little Nicky.
Oh, yeah.
When he goes to heaven, he finds Chubbs Peterson.
Yeah, there's really like no rhyme or reason for that shirt, like the pattern. Just kind of like, just get as many red dots as you can get on there and have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how fashion should be.
We're about to see my favorite Doc Brown reaction, I think. It's either that or when, the plug comes undone at the clock tower.
Yeah. No, it's for me, it's definitely this one in a minute. Lightning bolt.
Man, I hope he doesn't have some, like, flammable rags.
And this face.
Yeah.
It's like his chin just melts.
Yeah.
I always... a part of me always wanted to think that, like, that's how his mansion, like, caught fire and burnt down, but at the same time I was like, but there's no cause and effect of it. Like...
Yeah. Did you ever watch... were you ever a big watcher of, like, Taxi or anything?
No, there were a couple times that I tried to watch it just because I knew Christopher Lloyd was on it,
Yeah,
and like a while ago, I tried to get into like Andy Kaufman stuff,
Sure.
and like that was one of the first things that I did. But I was like, but this isn't a really good representation of Andy Kaufman.
He's only there, I think, for the first season.
Yeah, that too. Like
And I
He
mean,
didn't
Christopher
play a
Lloyd
huge
wasn't
role.
part of the main cast until season 2.
Christopher Lloyd has
exactly.
one of my favorite moments on that show of all time where he's taking his driver's test
Yeah.
and they're helping him, like, they're like whispering the answers to him. And so he has to say the question. He whispers the question and then, they whisper the answers back and he goes, what does a yellow light mean? And they're like, slow down. And he goes, what does the yellow light mean? And they're like, slow down. And he's like, what does the yellow light mean? And then, of course, the reveal of Danny DeVito is like
Oh, yeah.
one of the most classic sitcom moments of all time. It's a good show. I mean,
when
I haven't
they show
watched
that he's so short
because he's always in that.
yeah.
In
I
the
haven't,
booth, yeah.
I haven't watched every episode, but that's a show I enjoy. When I would catch on Nick at Night. It was a
definitely,
fun
yeah.
show.
Yeah, no, it's a great, very well done show.
Nice little kind of bit of coincidence or irony or whatever. So when Danny DeVito's character first goes on a date with Ray Perlman's character,
Mm-hmm.
the background music is the theme from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Is it really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because it was just this. I mean, the reason the It's Always Sunny crew picked it, cheap stock music.
Wow.
The reason the Taxi crew picked it, cheap stock
Cheap
music.
stock. That's crazy.
And then
You can't make that
history.
stuff up.
Yeah.
What an awkward staging of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
It's the
Use my back.
They're the Wright brothers.
Use it.
Yeah.
Use my back, prisoner.
I always thought those military bags were so cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like when those two sailors have them in the Untouchables,
Mm-hmm.
and then they get gunned
They
down.
get. Yeah.
And then, I always felt so sorry for them.
I know they were coming home from leave.
Yeah,
man.
they're just yeah, we're coming back to Chicago, and they get
Yeah.
like blown away, and I was like, oh,
jeez. Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
sure
yeah,
my
yeah.
dad has at least one of those hanging around somewhere.
Oh yeah, our
Mm.
basement's got a bunch of those, just the big ones, just say
Mhm.
Bozic on it,
Yeah, I'm sure.
full
it
of
says
different
Nolan on ours.
different
I
BDUs.
wonder if my dad
and
has one. Probably. I don't know if he still does.
He still
but-
has the chest that he used at West Point. Like that was a big thing with
My
all.
dad has
lot
a
of
shit
military
ton of
stuff in
ammo
there.
boxes.
Yeah, we still got some of my grandfather's ammo boxes. 30 cal.
Oh. Oh.
Her vagina?
Her,
Even
her
though he's-
boobies?
Yeah, he's holding the bra. Yeah,
Her lady bits?
yeah.
I feel like his character wouldn't be able to say anything specific.
Yeah. Oh man, you're about to be introduced to a wide world of sexual pleasures, George. Thank courtesy of Elaine.
Elaine?
Yeah, her name's Elaine.
Lorraine.
Lorraine. Sorry.
You're
Elaine.
thinking of Seinfeld.
I'm always thinking of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I dated a girl named Lorraine while I was living in New York,
Oh,
and she had never seen Back to the Future, and I was like,
Hell's Kitchen chick?
No. Where the hell did she live? She was in Astoria.
Ah.
Story of
the darkness in the light.
Yeah. But I showed it to her, and she was like, "It's so weird hearing my name on TV because no one like ever names a character Lorraine."
Hell, I'm a John Prine song about a Vietnam vet that suffers PTSD and overdoses on smack. I'm pretty sure my dad didn't name me after the John Prine song about the Vietnam vet that PTSDs and overdoses on smack. But there's the chance. I'm also
I always like to believe you are.
yeah, I'm also a bad guy on Mannix, and I'm played by Danny DeVito in the movie Ruthless People.
I'm named
It
after
all comes
the.
back to Danny DeVito.
Yeah. I'm named after the free safety for the undefeated no-name defense, Jake Scott.
But the thing is, the John Prine song's actually Sam Stone.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and Danny DeVito's character in Ruthless People
Yeah.
is Sam Stone.
I mean, the best I got is Jake Scott. I don't know of any famous Jake Bozics.
I know a couple famous Christopher Nolans, but I was named after the saint.
yeah,
Christopher.
I mean,
not
my
Saint
real
Christopher
name
Nolan.
is
yeah.
not even Jake, so technically I wasn't named after him. But
Back when you had to manually re-ink
Yeah.
before the advent of the ballpoint pen.
I used to play bass for the band Manual Re-Ink. It's an old running gag from Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like that character on
The
Sandlot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a background character here on a bike that zips by. I'm pretty sure it's in this scene that looks a lot like what Doc Brown looks like in Back to the Future Part 2 when he's riding around on a bicycle.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's Doc. They knew about it when they were making the first one." And Robert Zemeckis is like, "Man, I wish we had that much forethought."
Yeah. Happy coincidence.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see
I
it.
guess it's not in that shot.
Yeah.
It's in one of the shots when they're at the line.
Yeah.
Also, that guy playing the sax looks a lot like one of the other bouncers at my bar.
Yeah.
And the other day, I brought in a picture of him and showed it to all the other bouncers, and I was like, "Hey, I didn't know Jay was in Back to the Future," and all of them had a good laugh.
About to see George. There he is, cutting the rug, all by himself.
The hardwood rug.
Yeah.
Poseidon
Dances with Triton, just like yeah.
I feel like Dances with Triton would be a pretty good metal band too.
Yeah. That awkward erection's coming back for some fucking reason.
This is how awkward I am around girls, and probably the reason why I don't have too many instances where I park.
Yeah, I just tell them to watch Sex Criminals or read Sex Criminals, and it never happens. Or I try to buy pop figures from them and somehow succeed in scaring them away.
And Jake just walks up to them, hairy dick face.
No, my classic, don't talk to him for about 5 years and just see if maybe, hey, one day we'll...
Fuck.
No, not exactly.
Pray that my dick just flops out in front of them, and they're like,
Yeah.
hey, what's up?
Yeah, well, it's
I
out.
enjoy that.
Yeah.
That's
Go ahead and sample.
Classic Jake.
That's how it goes. I just make them listen to 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence by Dream Theater.
Yeah, as soon as they
Listen
get
to how freaking metal this is.
yeah,
Are you metal enough?
Yeah.
they get to the one about postpartum depression, and they're just like, yes.
Yeah. My favorite. Who's your favorite member of Dream Theater?
Do you? What's better, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, or or Friday the 13th?
Who is this, James Tinian the Fourth?
Yeah,
It's Lady Gaga in the background.
you gave the answer I would have given.
Yeah. There's another deleted scene during this sequence where George is so neurotic about making sure that the time is right that he actually calls the 800 operator
the national,
clock thing.
yeah.
But they decided to cut it out because it was wasting too much time.
Yeah, I mean this,
And
it's paced fine as it is.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't need a gag about it. All they needed was like him going, "Oh, I'm late." Yeah. There's also a video somewhere on YouTube where someone has cut together both sequences from the Enchantment Under the Sea dance from the perspective of Back to the Future and Back to the Future Part 2, where they show the certain bits that overlap each other, like side-by-side comparisons. It's pretty cool.
For me, I mean, and we'll talk about this next week because spoilers, we're doing the entire fucking trilogy.
Way to blow it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Right.
man.
Way to blow your load on the first act.
The only, like, for me, the best part of Back to the Future Part 2 is when they revisit 1955. I was never a big fan of 2015 or Alternate 85. I like parts of it, but like 2015 is just kind of loud and awkward, and Alternate 85 I always found kind of like really dark for like compared to the rest of the trilogy.
Yeah. A little overly dark.
Yeah, like I understand that.
Who would have thought Biff controlled so much?
Yeah, or would become
Hey, Billy Zane.
he'd
He's
become
about
a
to slam
killer.
evil.
The Ghost Who Dances.
Yeah, Ghost Who Dances,
The ghost who smirks.
Ghost Who Punches.
Slam evil. Good thing 3D has his glasses on, otherwise he wouldn't be able to see things with depth.
His eyes are probably so fucked.
Ugh.
If that's all he wears, like 24 hours a day. Oh, I forgot about the racial epithet.
Oddly enough, a lot of people forget that that's a
racial
slur.
slur.
Yeah, like during Halloween, like everyone's like, "Oh, it's so spooky," and like talks about the spooky thing. And for whatever reason, I think it's funny to just be like racist.
Yeah,
You know,
nobody
when-
else does though.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm the only one that has to laugh.
Yeah,
But like they always look at me so confused because they forget that that's. I mean, it's out of practice and it's not seen as derogatory
yeah.
anymore,
Thank God. I mean,
right?
yeah,
We'd have to come up with another word for spooky.
yeah. So, for the record, they were totally token up in the car, right?
Yes. 3D even points out that they're reefer
Yeah.
addicts.
Yes. Yeah.
Although that could have very well been racially charged.
Yeah.
Those are some well-used dance shoes there, Lorraine.
can do it, George. Take a stand against sexual assault, George.
Yeah. Tear down the patriarchy.
For me, I always thought that for me is like always the big. Like, of course, I love Marty. Marty's Marty's the character for me more so than Doc Brown, but I always loved George. Like, he stands up to himself, even facing his arch nemesis without Marty's help.
Yeah, and even like in immense pain, right there, he continues on.
Yeah. See you.
Right on her tuffet.
And that's what really, I always liked his character arc.
Yeah.
And how this is where we see the man that he becomes when we return to 85.
Southpaw.
Just years of pent-up aggression released in one punch.
He doesn't let it go and becomes this masked murderer.
Oh, yeah. He just keeps... It turns into like a Christmas story where he just keeps wailing on him.
He just goes off and X Gon Give It To You plays in the background while he's kicking the shit out of all these people.
Yeah. That awkward guy. Remember that? We'll see him in Back to the Future Part 2 when like Marty totally...
Oh, I think he stole his wallet.
I think he totally... Yeah, he says it twice.
Yeah, there are 2 scenes where he says it, and each time he repeats himself.
Yeah.
So a total of 4 times he had to get the mileage out of his one line.
And honestly, to Zemeckis' credit, because I was just watching that, there was a guy that ran up to Biff that kind of looks like the repeat line guy.
They in the 2 movies they did a great job matching,
despite a 4-year gap,
with no preconceived notions of doing this or doing a sequel.
Yeah, this was supposed to be a one-off,
and then it did so well. I think it did so well on its opening weekend
that
Universal approached Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale and were like, you should do a sequel.
Yeah, and they're like, fuck, we shouldn't have had him go to 2015.
Yeah, because they never wanted to do that.
Yeah. They always wanted to go to the Old West.
Yeah, they were like, if we ever do more, we would love to go to the Old West, but we're never going to do more.
If you really think about it, Back to the Future Part 2 is really just entirely set up for Back to the Future Part 3.
It's the first act of a 3-act thing, and acts 2 and 3 happen in Back to the Future Part 3.
Yeah, I think the only thing they were really interested in was revisiting 1955 when it came to Part 2. I think I've read we'll go into more detail next week, but I think I read somewhere Zemeckis was like, when I did this first approach the sequel to Back to the Future, I wanted to... it's the Shermanator.
It's Rick Astley.
Yeah. Ever see that Family Guy episode?
Oh yeah,
where they
parody this.
Yeah, and he bumps into the chicken. Don't worry, man, you'll never see that guy again.
Yeah.
But I think he was like, if I ever did when I approached the sequel, I wanted to do it where the thing with the sequel is you're revisiting this previous story, but you don't want it to be more of the same. So it was kind of cool. You see that alternate perspective to the events of this film. We're about to see the worst special effect in the entire movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, this hand thing. Ugh.
There's glorious Blu-ray. It's a beautiful transfer, though.
Yeah, it's just bad effects look even worse.
Yeah.
That always bothered me, that little like subsequence. Like the special effects, yes, but that little thing where he's just like, well, and not some other guy just came in and like he has to like build himself up again.
Well, and here's the thing. It really, the idea that Marty is still dying up until that point, I think
nobody notices that this man's disappearing on the stage.
Yeah.
Oh, they're too busy macking out.
Yeah.
I did it.
I still have a hand. Yeah. Oh, hey, look. A thing that happened that you had no idea about.
Yeah. All you knew.
You heard the guitar get really bad for a hot minute.
That means there's a kernel in the back of George's mind for the rest of his life that's like Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan.
Yeah. And then he sues George McFly. He sues George Lucas.
And Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because neither of those have happened yet.
Yeah. Give it another 11 years on the trek.
Yeah. Wait a second. Planet Vulcan.
And then
Planet Vulcan's real.
Yeah.
22 years.
For
Star Wars.
Darth Vader's real, too.
Yeah. well, I think I need to redust this off for a karaoke.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Especially with the new sound, I can't get away with some of the old tricks I used to.
Yeah,
The more modern songs I suck at harder.
Yeah. I remember I think it was like one of the first times you did Johnny Be Good at karaoke. You came up to me and to like confirm what the lines were.
What's the quote?
And then I was like, "Fuck! Now I can't even remember."
Yeah.
And I like gave you the wrong quote or something.
Either way, either way, I got it wrong.
Yeah. Not like anyone knows anyway. It was like me.
Yeah.
Or I only gave you half of it. I think I gave you like it's the standard blues riff and B, half of it. But I totally forgot the it's an oldie where I come from.
Yeah, that's the only one that I'd be interested in. It's not like I've got a backing band.
Yeah. It's like, what are you gonna do? Turn to Dave and be like, hey,
yeah,
standard blues riff and B.
Zemeckis was at the bar that night. I saw it, and he like heard that misquoted. He just paid his tab and walked out shaking his head like,
yeah.
I tried to set fire to the bar. It was really awkward.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go make The Walk, whatever that movie is with
with Joseph Gordon-Levitt,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, yeah.
Where he's the French tightrope guy.
But yeah, Michael J. Fox really playing the guitar. I mean, I don't think he's playing what you're hearing, but he's actually playing.
Oh yeah.
He's not just miming it.
It's such a small world.
Bleeding out, man.
One of the dumbest gags in the movie.
Yeah.
The fact that like Chuck Berry's cousin is there.
Yeah.
And that he steals rock and roll from the white man. I like that The Onion printed an article a couple years back that was like Chuck Berry admits that he stole the sound from a kid.
Yeah. From his cousin. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, his cousin offers it to him.
Yeah.
So his cousin's really the one that is at fault for stealing.
I never really liked an overly complex guitar solo.
Yeah, no, neither.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a difference between noodling and like
a
a really complicated solo.
Yeah.
And for me, sorry, Van Halen fans, Eddie Van Halen is the king of noodling and wanking on the guitar.
Yeah. Although that sequence is one of the few things that is almost like word for word the same from the first draft to the final version. Like that whole thing where he like is playing Johnny Be Good and then goes through all the different like styles. Like I know Eddie Van Halen's in there, Jimi Hendrix is in there, and like a couple other guys too.
There's a little Pete Townsend in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he does the windmill kind of.
They always talked about that story where he impaled himself in his whammy bar doing the windmill and sprained his wrist too.
It's horrific.
I don't know if he impaled, but I mean like he had many of injuries on his wrist doing that.
Yeah.
I never found like
I always like
the great joy in doing that. Like I never was like, oh yeah, the windmill.
Man. I was always like power stance. Playing Holy Diver.
Yeah.
Holy Diver!
Just bobbing my head like I'm bobbing for apples.
Bobbing for dicks.
Yeah, that's where I was originally going to go.
But I went there.
Yeah, I thought better of it
when
sealed the deal.
You set the bar low, and I limboed right underneath it.
Limbo lower now.
Just, I don't know. I'm talking about The Office, but when Erin is bobbing for apples,
oh yeah,
and they're like, she's been down there for like 2 minutes, and they lift her up. She's like, 2. I ate 2 whole apples.
Yeah. She's got her own.
I saw that.
Series, yeah. Produced by Tina Fey. I think somebody else. I know Jane Krakowski's in it as well from 30 Rock.
This is a pretty silly gag where he has like so many watches.
Yeah.
Maybe we missed the bicyclist. Maybe that was during the scene where Marty was writing the note.
Yeah, he's in the diner.
Yeah. My bad, guys. Just watch it again.
Yeah. Just watch Back to the Future Part 2 next week with us.
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Thinks about that, and he's like, wait a minute.
Not worth it.
Fuck it. I don't give a shit. There is no theme, like, not Star Wars, not the Raiders March, as much as I love the Raiders March. There is no theme, not Gotta Fly Now from, or Gonna Fly Now from Rocky, but there's no theme that pumps me up more than the Back to the Future theme.
Yeah, no, Alan Silvestri did an amazing job.
Mm-hmm. This is, for me, one of the all-time great film scores. Take that, Williams. I love a good Williams film score.
Although technically you hear one, you've heard it like half of them.
Yeah. Oh, it's got French horns. Big surprise.
There'll be times where I'm like humming the Star Wars theme, and I'll accidentally slide into the Indiana Jones, and then slide into Superman.
Yeah.
And like it all just floats. The only one that I don't accidentally slip into is Jurassic Park.
Yeah. I'm trying
Jaws.
to think what the Reavers, Sugarland Express. I could go more obscure.
My favorite film score is James Horner's Rocketeer.
Home Alone.
Yeah. Actually, that's one of the all-time greats too.
Yeah.
That's one of my
great
favorites. Yeah.
Especially during his like after he's done with the church, and he's like, all right, time to save my home.
I don't think there's any in the main theme anyway. I don't think there's any big French horn moments. I think it's almost all strings.
I never liked how he's so gung ho about all this, and then like the big reveal at the end, he's like, I thought, what the hell?
Yeah. To be fair, he'd been living with it. He had 3 decades to think about it.
Yeah. Dumb Marty, not even checking to make sure that it's out from underneath the branch.
Yeah.
He's got all this time.
Of course, I've got a time machine.
Go back earlier.
Yeah.
I've got all the time in the world.
About to get our Harold Lloyd moment. I think it's from the film The Freshman. Scared by the Nittany Lion.
What are you laughing at?
Yeah. There it is. I know Chris had kind of said Batman 89 earlier. But I think that's a direct quote. That's not like at any point 89 they're like, Batman 89.
Batman
89. I like to just...
otherwise we would just shout Batman 89.
It's fun, but, for prosperity.
You got to earn it.
It just felt so right at that point.
As he's leaving the diner.
And since you guys didn't react to it, I was like, oh, good. Maybe they didn't notice it.
No, I heard.
They just decided not to acknowledge it because it was dumb.
I was being polite.
I actually didn't hear it. I wasn't paying attention. But
I forget what the context was, but I was just like,
it was when I don't know why, but it was when they were like leaving the diner the first time and he's chasing George, and before he gets hit by Lorraine's dad. Just Batman 89. Like trying to get that reference in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird.
It is kind of ridiculous, though, when you think about it. Like, of all the commentaries we've done, we've inadvertently kind of found somewhere there's a Batman 89 reference to be had.
Yeah. Snyder was able to do it in the latest issue of Batman.
That's right.
Available in stores.
And by latest, we mean the one that came out several months ago.
At this point, 2, yeah.
Couple months ago.
A Princeless Parade.
Issue 39. Find issue 39.
Read Batman.
Yeah. It's like, I was talking to Jake earlier this week about it. It was like, this is like the one like book that's never been bad in the New 52.
Nope.
The Batman main title.
Never.
It's like
it's a constant.
Yeah. That piece of oak.
Mahogany.
Fine mahogany.
I was referencing the John Carpenter's vampires.
Yeah.
In one scene, James Woods is kicking the shit out of some guy, like literally like kicking him in the gut a whole bunch of times, and then when they're all done, like they're getting back in the car, and he's like, "Hey, when I was kicking you there, did you get wood? Huh? Yeah, mahogany? Huh? Yeah."
James Woods is having a blast in that entire film, just strolling around with like his sunglasses, like I'm James Woods.
It's such a fun movie.
Yeah. It's probably my favorite, honestly. It's probably my favorite Carpenter film from the 90s.
Yeah, from the 90s, yeah.
Like, I'll take that over, I think Prince of Darkness was early 90s.
Yeah, but, yeah, was that the final of his Armageddon trilogy?
It's between that or In the Mouths of Madness.
Yeah, I can't remember which one came out first. Definitely not The Thing.
No. That was like 82?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As in, The Thing was not one of the 90s.
Oh,
movies,
yeah. It's just, it starts
But yeah, it was definitely the first one. Yeah. And there's your clock.
Yeah. Harold Lloyd.
Yeah, Harold Lloyd. Yeah.
The Freshman, a silent film classic if you've never seen it. I always liked Harold Lloyd. Like, everyone's like, Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton. Both phenomenal actors. But Harold Lloyd's pretty cool, too.
I'm a Keaton fan myself, but
Keaton's great.
To be totally honest, or to be fair, I haven't seen any Harold Lloyd. I don't think.
Yeah, I think he's like the, in this day and age, he's one of the more underappreciated,
the unsung one.
Yeah, everyone. I mean, Chaplin's the best. Come on, City Lights, one of the all-time greats. The Gold Rush, phenomenal film. Buster Keaton had the general. He had the kid.
I liked. Yeah, my clearly, the time has clearly decided that, and probably, and rightfully so, that Chaplin's the winner out of them. But like I always found Keaton's comedy more suited. His physical comedy.
I always thought Keaton looked kind of like depressed, all the time. He had those sad eyes. And then it turns out that he drank himself to death. I think his last film is It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, which is one of my all-time favorites. My dad.
Here's your other face.
Yes. Yeah, because that has the benefit of the scream too.
But you know what movie where he does that, but even better? That little scream there. The Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh,
where
yeah.
He's melting in the dip.
Oh,
he's just like, wah, wah, wah.
But that was me scared of Chris. That's the only time I've been scared of Christopher Lloyd.
Terrifying in that movie.
Not Star Trek 3, where he's Commander Krug and gets kicked into a thing of lava by William Shatner, who's wearing like a big pink shirt. That's my big takeaway from Star Trek 3.
To be fair, not much else happens in Star Trek 3.
Yeah. Jim. Your name is Jim.
Meh, 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 meh.
As long as you keep that 88, keep the 88.
The crazy 88s?
There isn't actually 88 of them. They just think it sounds cool.
Yeah. And Doc Brown's dead.
Yeah. You've never seen Kill Bill Volume 2?
No, I haven't. No.
So that line about the crazy 88s, that was
wasted.
Yeah.
Could just be gobbledygook.
It was, in fact. Most of the things that come out of my mouth.
It's Radio Gaga.
Yeah.
Radio Lady Gaga.
It's where she got the name, right?
Mm-hmm.
From Queen.
I always thought that was funny. That song's about like keeping the radio alive, and they made their most expensive and famous music video from that song.
Yeah.
Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider. I always thought that you could just see the fire slowly. Well, the first time
like
you see
that one giant flame right there
in the beginning when they have the dog in the door, and you can see the flame just slowly fade away.
Yeah. Back to Police State, 1985.
Yeah. I am the law. Drop your weapon.
Oh, hey, look, it's Red Wilson.
Yeah.
There's a fan theory that's Red Wilson, the
mayor
in 1955. Mostly because it sounds like Marty calls him Red here.
Yeah.
Or is it in Back to the Future Part 2? I forget.
I
But
don't think he sees him in part 2.
no, he does. When he goes to the casino, he bumps into him. But
still a bum.
yeah. But so like the mayor's campaign car says Red Wilson, and yeah, right there he says Red.
Yeah.
So people are like, fans are like, oh, that's Red Wilson, the mayor.
Yeah.
Again, it's a random coincidence that Zemeckis and Bob Gale didn't try to put in there, but it happened.
Yeah. If
And
so,
I like
he's
to believe
aged
it
pretty
is.
well.
It's the booze
Yeah.
and the fresh air.
Yeah, the whiskey is a preservative, right? That fresh Southern California air in the shade of the Texaco.
In an octopus's garden.
I was always, like, as a kid.
Wait. Oh.
Yeah, wait for it. The moment that Chris referenced, we're about to see it.
And the payoff. Kablam! Lone Pine Malls.
There it is.
Because he ran over one of the pine trees. Sorry, so what about when you were a kid?
Well, by, like, sheer force of will, I remembered that, like, Octopus's Garden was in the animated film Yellow Submarine.
Mm-hmm.
Not actually in the animated film Yellow Submarine.
No.
The album came out the following year.
Yeah. Hey Bulldog is technically in the animated movie.
Yeah.
Not in the copy that I have.
Not until the I mean, it was in the international version, but it wasn't in the U.S. version. It wasn't released in the U.S. until the DVD re-release.
Yeah, in like 2000.
The late 90s,
Yeah.
I think.
It's one way to get down a hill.
Yeah. But yeah, Hey Bulldog's my favorite original song from the because there's only 4 original songs on the Yellow Submarine album.
I like It's All Too Much.
That's a good one. To your mouth.
Feedback Central.
And then they died.
Film for sale.
I just assume that
That's the last thing you see.
Yeah,
You don't even see the explosion. Or
maybe
nothing.
they pulled the trigger on the RPG.
Yeah, right, and it just
yeah.
and it's just really quiet, and they're respecting this emotional moment.
Yeah. Everybody knows that militant Libyans' greatest weakness is 1 hour photo. It's like
no
science.
film. Developing chemicals. An efficient process. Okay. So when I was a little kid and I saw this, I didn't quite understand what was going on with his chest there. And I had just seen Terminator 2 somewhat recently.
Liquid Metal Brown?
Yeah, so I just assumed that this was like some weird clone of Doc Brown's made out of liquid metal. I had an amazing imagination when I was a kid. And
I think Terminator 2 was the first R-rated movie I ever saw.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's either that or Aliens. I'm not really sure
Aliens
which one I
came
saw
later,
first.
Yeah, for me.
I know that True Lies was the first R-rated movie I saw in theaters.
The first R-rated movie I saw in theaters was the Redux re-release of Apocalypse Now. I had certainly seen other R-rated movies in between Terminator 2 and Apocalypse Now, but they were all on VHS. I love how kind of reserved, like, comparatively speaking, Doc Brown is right there. To be fair,
He just got shot.
yeah, he just, like, had a near-death experience.
He's probably just going, thank God they didn't shoot my face.
Yeah, but he doesn't mention that in
What
the
if
note,
they shot me in the face?
Yeah.
It's a risk we're willing to take.
All it says is you will be shot and killed by Libyans.
That's why I wear the bat on my chest.
Yeah. Draws the fire to where my armor's the strongest. Good thing I still live in this house in the Lion Estates.
Yeah. Luckily, Doc is the one that dropped him off home. Doc would know where he lived. But yeah, it was just convenient. What a random time to set your alarm for. I never noticed that until just now. 10:28. Granted, I set my alarm for random times.
Does he have a box of Thin Mints? Yes. Unusual box for Thin Mints.
That yellow box?
And it was
Huh?
Like,
or am I not looking in the right place?
it was the next compartment over.
Oh, okay.
It was like almost like a peach-colored box.
Weird. Sports.
Multiple times. It's probably the Atari sports game,
Yeah.
which all you did was press.
Or the
Hey, we had that
Huey Lewis
thermostat
in
in
the
my old
news.
home.
Yeah.
Because it's almost called sports.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And they do
That's
love
probably
Huey
what it
Lewis in this movie.
was.
Because if you didn't know, Huey Lewis is in this movie.
Yeah.
What?
And the funny, they just play the same fucking song.
Yeah.
It's like,
Gonna go back in time.
It was all subtext for time repeating itself.
Yeah, and of course his siblings still live with him, even though they're clearly better off.
Successful.
Yeah,
They understand that they will save more money if they do not own their own home.
that's how they're successful.
Yeah. They probably clip coupons too.
Yeah. So is this like a school day for Marty? Probably not, right? Because it's 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
But why is Dave going to school? Well, I guess that's how he's
Yeah,
successful.
he's going to the office.
He probably works on the weekends. That's how.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why. But he's able to go in late at 10:30
Yeah.
Because
because it's the weekend.
Yeah.
Everyone was working for the weekend.
Yeah.
Although they do
Or
get
working
mail
on-
dropped off.
Yeah. Well, mail's
Saturday.
dropped off on Saturdays.
Is it always? Has it always? Or has it been like that since the 80s?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Could be
I like
wrong.
how he's eating eggplant for breakfast too. But
I love how he's
refuses
apparently
to
he's
eat.
sitting back down too. He's
yeah,
like,
right.
"Oh,
He was
go-"
about to leave for the
And
office.
then he's just like, oh, but that's right.
oh
I
wait,
still
mom
have
and dad are back.
Yeah.
It's awkward that I'm 25 and still live at home,
Yeah.
even though I'm a successful businessman.
Yeah. An added consequence of Biff owning an automotive, he balds in 1985.
Yeah. It's from all the wax.
Yeah. Waxes his head.
Yeah.
What a character. He tried to rape my wife till I slugged him one.
Called it even.
Yeah. That's why they call me One Punch McFly. He's just so happy. And
Hey, you know what?
clearly it suits him.
He's his own boss. Yeah.
He probably loves George's writing.
Yeah.
Looks like
Even
Mrs.
though this is his
Doubtfire.
first
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
It's so strange that it's... that
Maybe he was like Bradbury and he just did short stories for the
maybe,
longest time.
yeah, maybe this is just his first novel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he did novellas
Yeah.
like Clive Barker.
Yeah. Or, again, Bradbury doing like the Martian Chronicles, which
Yeah.
was originally a collection of short stories.
Yeah. Or like, what's his name? Who I think Dickens, who would write
Dickens,
like just
definitely, yeah.
chapter by chapter in
periodicals.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's how he did Great Expectations, right?
Yeah.
That was
Maybe.
or was that not Dickens?
Oh no, Great Expectations
Yeah.
is Dickens.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just trying to think if it was published periodically.
No, I remember when we read Great Expectations in school. Like that was one of the things that my English teacher brought up.
Yeah.
And that's the last time we see Crispin Glover.
Yeah. Even though his character shows up in the next two movies.
Yeah.
This is the last time we see original Jennifer. But what's his name? Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes stories, most of them were short stories.
Mm.
I think the only full-length one, or novel-length one, was Hound of the Baskervilles, which was published during the period where Sherlock Holmes was dead.
Mm.
It's technically a prequel story.
Yeah. Oh, this
I do
scene
love-
features one of Sam's favorite moments between the two, the first and the second. If you pay attention to the way that Doc Brown reacts to the word asshole, or assholes, I guess, and then watch the second one, you'll notice it.
No pause there.
No.
Tune back in next week. I mean, they had
It
to
was-
they had to reshoot everything
Yeah.
anyway because they had Elizabeth Shue.
Well, yeah, and that was something that I hadn't noticed until Sam pointed it out. Actually, like because I, as much as I watch these movies, I had not actually marathoned all three of them in the row.
Mm-hmm.
Like I usually took a break, so like there wasn't enough, or there was enough delay between watching the movies that it didn't do anything for me.
They should have had Wake Up by Rage Against the Machine playing
Yeah.
at the end of The Matrix.
But for me,
Insane.
Yeah, Ghost
for,
Who Walks.
Ghost Who Walks. for me, for the longest time, I had only seen the first Back to the Future film. So Back to the Future 2, and to a lesser extent 3, because I actually saw 3 before I saw 2, so it made fuck all sense. For the longest time, Back to the Future 2 still kind of has a new car smell for me. Kind of like the latter Beatles albums, because my dad only had like the classic Beatles stuff. So, yeah. We'll get to that. So,
Back to the Future Part 3 was the only one that I got to see in theaters.
Never saw any of them in theaters. Shame. Oh, man. But yeah, so thoughts? Chris, this one your favorite?
Yep. Still the best. Yay, Back to the Future.
Beats the rest. Jake, this is like now
Hey, Ronald Woodward. Key Grip. Isn't that the guy running for president?
Oh, yeah.
Senior president?
Hey, there you go.
Key Grip.
Ah, that's where they got the name. He was a student. He was running for class president in 1955.
Good eyes.
Yeah,
good eyes.
Good on you.
Jake, this is like the 4th or 5th time you've seen it.
Yeah.
Still cool.
It's still cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's fun, man. It's
Ready
a
to
fun
see
movie.
like 2 and 3 for
I've
like
seen
the
2.
second time?
Which one has Jaws? The future Jaws.
That's 2.
2. Okay, I've never seen 3 then.
Ooh.
So
Your virgin eyes will be entertained.
It's like
Right.
a Western.
that's cool. I'm
yeah.
all for westerns.
It'll be your favorite.
Probably.
It's essentially a Clint Eastwood movie.
They should have Clint. They should have just recast Clint for the third one as Doc Brown.
I
Yeah.
mean, they do reference Clint
You
Eastwood.
might
they?
even
Yeah.
see.
Quite a bit.
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
yeah. In honor of the 30th anniversary of Back to the Future, here it is. And, of course, like I said, next week we'll be back. Back to the Future Part 2.
Woo!
See you guys.
Later.
Bye.